Hello and welcome to the final SBK Daily Betting Podcast of Royal Ascot 2025. We hope you have enjoyed them if you've watched them or listened to them all throughout this week, or if this is your first one, welcome if that's the case. Hopefully you've been pointed in the direction of a few winners and you've enjoyed the analysis and talk through of these fascinating races at the Berkshire track this week. Ross, how much have you enjoyed Royal Ascot 2025 from one, a punting angle yourself, and two, from just a spectacle?
Punting angle's been really good, TC. I put a fair bit of pressure on myself. I try and give myself a bit of a buy-in that the winter game is my real love. But plenty of study, and it's nice and it's gone right. Constantly sort of amused by people that sort of you have one bad day and they jump all over you, and they go very quietly when you have a good day. But I think we've held our own and we found some winners, and we've talked a bit of sense along the way. So yeah, really enjoyed it from that point of view. The racing, I think, has been good. It definitely, for me, confirms that we don't want an extra day at any of the jumps festivals, because there's just a few weak races in this week, isn't it? There's I think they could get rid of a few, and I'd be for a six race card if I'm honest. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Some really good performances, and hopefully we'll go out with a bit of a bang.
Yeah, it's been a great week. We are filming this on Friday. We just watched the first race on Friday, so we can't recap anything that's happened on Friday. But before that, it's been a good week. Ross had great success on Tuesday, as well as other winners fluttered around on Wednesday and Thursday. I broke even the first day, awful second day, good third day. So it's been a nice week so far. As I say, hopefully plenty of winners, and I hope you've enjoyed the racing because it has been really good. One negative thing I do want to bring up, I don't like bringing negatives, as you probably know, but I do think the draw bias has been a little bit disappointing this year. If you're drawing low, it seems like you just haven't had a chance. Even on Tuesday, Ross, the far side was described as quicker, 8.6 on the going stick. It was 8.3 middle, 8.3 stand side, yet you still couldn't win far side. So I'm a little bit disappointed that half of the runners in some of these 30 runner field races haven't had a chance. But equally, looking ahead and being positive about this, we're going to be able to find great betting angles, because those horses that run well far side need to be marked up a great deal.
Absolutely, TC. I mean, as you know, I'm really slow to believe pace bias at Ascot, because certainly last year it flip-flopped around through the week. But yeah, this week, and so finally on the Saturday, I've gone high numbers.
Yeah, exactly. I think high numbers is definitely the way to play. Quick note, by the way, I have just come from Royal Ascot. I don't dress like this. Ross is just dressed smart most of the time, to his credit and not mine. But anyway, quick note of SBK's offers before we get started on Saturday's card. First, a 20% Racing's multiple boost, as they've done every single day. You're probably bored of this offer, but it is a great one. Minimum 4 legs to qualify. If you like putting your horses together in an accumulator, winner each way, use this offer. You will get a bigger return for the same amount of stake. T's and C's do apply. Go check that out. Also, on the final day of Royal Ascot this Saturday, SBK is offering a 20% winnings boost on the QE2. That race is run at 340. Again, bigger bang for your buck, more return for the same stake. So bet with SBK throughout the whole of Royal Ascot, of course, but definitely for those races with the winnings boosts. Racing preview time now then. We'll begin with the Chesham, another 2-year-old race, the final 2-year-old race of Royal Ascot 2025. It's run over 7 furlongs, and crucially, if maybe you're new to the sport, then you need to factor in that this is only for horses who sire won a race over 10 furlongs, 1 mile, 2 furlongs, or further, which is why we're getting a smaller field and a different group of horses in here, not your out-and-out speed bulls. Your favourite at the moment is Moments of Joy, which is quite astounding, really, for Aidan O'Brien. Trian Moore's second favourite, they're 13 to 8 and 7 to 4, respectively, at the time of recording. Ross, who do you like?
Well, I out of the two at the top, I think Tranmore's got by far the most compelling claims, other than the fact it's the Charlie Appleby factor, isn't it? And I'm sure that's why he's weak in the market, is that, Aiden's juveniles have done really well. Charlie Appleby's horses have run poorly. I'm actually going to have a bit of a go at one at a bigger price, and it's the filly Venetian Lace for Charlie Johnston. She won over 6 furlongs at Chelmsford by Massar. That is absolutely against the grain in terms of what her pedigree suggests. There's no way she should have the speed for that. Now, it probably was a weak enough race, but the runner-up has since come out and won over 5 furlongs, so clearly quite a pacey individual. The fact that she was able to put them away, I think, is a positive sign. She gets the £5 fillies allowance. She could be absolutely nowhere near this class, but in a race where I wasn't particularly interested to try and divide the top two, I'll have a bit of a swing at her with a good jockey on board.
Yeah, Venetian Lace is actually 16.5 to 1 with SBK, 33 to 2 to use their exact odds. 16 to 1 generally best price elsewhere. So SBK, your top bookmaker right now on Venetian Lace if you want to follow Ross in. I prefer Trian more to Moments of Joy in this race quite considerably, and I'm very surprised that they are this way around in the market. Maybe it's due to the fact that Aidan O'Brien has won 3 2-year-old races so far this week. He was actually 3 from 3 before that contest that we've just watched on Friday. So maybe there's money for Moments of Joy for that reason. But I thought Trianmore's debut was exceptionally impressive. This is a long-striding son of Frankel, and he is going to relish this test. He's also drawn in 5, crucially. Middle draw, I think that's fine in a small field. Moments of Joy is drawn in 1. Ryan Moore's going to have to be at his best to get cover or to go to the front and dominate. So I prefer Trianmore in the first. The Hardwicke is up next. A pretty good renewal, I thought, this one, Ross. You generally need to run to a mark of 120 to go close in a Hardwicke if you look back through the last 10 or so years. Rebels Romance is your favourite in here, and he's got a rating of 123, so we know he's more than capable, but most of that form comes away from England.
Yeah, I think there's a reason he's been campaigned as an international horse, TC. He might just find this a little bit tougher. Again, I'm going to go for one at a price, and it's Al-Azi. He's got a course and distance win to his name. 2 of his last 3 wins have come on good to firm ground. I think that's important. I think there's plenty in here that are probably going to not enjoy hearing their who's rattle quite so much. And I think at Newbury last time, he probably was just given a fairly poor ride, given how the race played out. Burdett Road, I imagine, is going to drag them along and have to go forward to try and bring his stamina into play. That should mean there's a decent pace to run at. I think he's got a pretty decent turn of foot. He is getting on a little bit, but I quite like him again at a decent price.
Yeah, 10.5 to 1 again with SBK, 21 to 2. Best odds elsewhere is 10 to 1. So again, SBK top price on Al-Azi. There are some interesting horses in here. Ghost Rider, who was purchased by Ammo Racing for $2 million on Monday, just before Royal Ascot began. He goes for Clive Cox, and Ammo will be hoping to get a winner on the board because it's not been the most successful week, let's say. They've had a couple of horses run well, but they are looking for that elusive winner. I didn't like much in this race, to be honest with you, so I thought I'll take a flyer on a horse at a big price, and that is Candleford for trainer William Haggis. I think he's about 25 to 1, maybe a little bit bigger. He goes very well fresh. That's my angle here. He hasn't run so far this season, and it looks like William has kind of just basically targeted this race and hoped that Candleford rocks up. He may not be good enough. His official rating suggests he isn't, but he's a big price, and you could play him each way. He's got good Ascot form. Group 1 time then in the QE2 at 340. This is the race that SBK has that 20% winnings boost on. Lazat, a recent Wathnan Racing purchase, is your market leader for France. He's 3 to 1. He is the form horse, but France haven't had a winner yet this week so far. I prefer the other French runner in this contest, Ross, which is Top Gear. He's unproven at the trip and on the ground, but I think he's got a lot of potential. Where's your dart going?
Well, I think you have to respect Lazat just because Wathnan and Richard Brown clearly do a very, very good job at buying these horses in, and I would imagine if Ammo don't get a winner this week, there's going to be a bit of an inquiry because Wathnan are sort of operating on a similar sort of model. They're not afraid to go and buy these horses that are in training and pay good money for them. They're finding winners left, right and centre, and Ammo are sort of floundering a little bit. 2 million for Ghost Rider absolutely blew my socks off. I couldn't quite believe that. I like Inisherin here, the 4-year-old. I thought he was really good in the Commonwealth Cup last year, where I was dead against him. I didn't think he'd have the speed, but like all good sprinters, he's getting faster as he gets older. I then opposed him last time out in the Group 2 at York, is it the Duke of York Stakes. I just thought first run after wind surgery, first run after a break, he might just need it as he has done a little bit previously, but he's still got the job done on good to firm ground. I think he'll step forward for that. We know he likes the track. This is second run after that wind surgery. So if his form tailed off last year, if it was because he was just having a little issue with his breathing, the fact that he's gone and won and has gone through the race nicely and finished off strongly is a positive thing. I think with course form behind him, I'm surprised not a bit shorter in the betting, so I quite like him.
Inisherin 9 to 2 for Ross, Top Gear 9 to 1 for me. Back to the 3-year-olds then in the Jersey, that's at 420. Hardtem won this race last year and has obviously come back this year and won again at Royal Ascot. It's a wide open market. Ross, I think this may, and it could be a big statement, I'm not sure. I think this may be the worst jersey I think I've ever seen. Ramuz is your 5 to 1 favourite. I'm actually going to be with this horse, but I don't even know if he's good enough to win. It's a crazy race. There's not much quality in here.
There's not. I just went for the one horse that I thought did show a bit of glimpses of ability last year, and that's Seagulls 11 for Hugo Palmer. I thought he was pretty promising in the Dewhurst he was outclassed, in the Dewhurst. Outclassed in the Breeders' Cup. But before that, I thought he showed a little bit of promise in some group races. I don't think he stayed 7 furlongs last year as a 2-year-old, and I don't think he stays a mile this year as a 3-year-old. Like in the Guineas, he just weakened out of it, and that was far too advanced for him. But he's right down in grade now, over 7 furlongs. I think this trip will suit him really well. He's got plenty of pace. He's been gelded. He's clearly a bit of a lunatic. If that has just sorted him out and he can go through the race a little bit more efficiently, I think he's quite a classy horse, or a classy enough horse, as you said, in a weak race where the favourite is really going to have to step up to win. So I'm fairly confident that he'll at least hit the frame.
Yeah, Seagulls 11 is a bit of a drifter over the course of the last day, but you're getting a better value at that price. I think he's about 20-1 right now. When we looked at this race earlier this morning, he was around 16s. Not a massive drifter by any means, but pushed out a couple of points. So you're getting better value there if you do like him and want to follow Ross in. As I say, I'm just defaulting onto Ramuz. I hate doing that, especially when it's a favourite in a race like this. And also, it's on a horse who needs to improve. Not something I would usually do. I won't be betting in this race, but I am selecting the horse. I want to make that clear because someone did say earlier in the week that they don't like when you say you're selecting a horse. We have to put up a horse in each race. So I'm going to put up Ramuz in this one. I liked him last time at Doncaster. He likes fast ground. He could be anything. And to be honest, I would like to see Callum Rodriguez have a winner. He doesn't have many rides, or hasn't had many rides at Ascot this week. On to the Wokingham next at 5 p.m. Maximum 28 runner field, as you would expect. More Thunder has been one of the talking horses of this whole week. Everyone thinking that he could be a group horse in a handicap. I'm tending to agree with them the more and more I look at this contest. He could be very much like Never So Brave, who won on Thursday, a horse who exits Sir Michael Stout's yard, goes somewhere else, and then dots up off his handicap mark. Do you like More Thunder?
Yeah, I do, TC. I thought he did exceptionally well to win last time because he just got into a little bit of bother. I don't think he enjoyed the dip at Newmarket last time. Finished really, really strongly to get the job done. Comes onto a stiff track, but a flat track. He is just going to have to cope with this good to firm ground and just have enough speed early. But they will go hard. And generally, if you're finishing strong in these sprints, as you pointed out earlier in the week, you can often go close. I'm really quite sweet on him. And then just one more is Zoom Zoom, who again at Salisbury last time was slowly away, finished really powerfully just to be touched off. Looks like they're going the right way, starting to learn the job a little bit, getting quicker as they're getting older. It was good to firm ground at Salisbury last time, and I always think that Salisbury rides quicker than it's described. So again, still 27 for Zoom Zoom is the right side of the track I'm figuring out on the final day of Royal Ascot, so I'll be with them as well.
Yeah, nice high draws there. 4-1 for More Thunder. I think 16 might be 18 for Zoom Zoom. There'll be a caption at the bottom where you can read what price that is. For me, it's More Thunder. I don't love his price. I don't like betting horses at short prices like this in the handicaps at Ascot, but to me, he just looks like he's a class above. Now, I'm going to have a saver, and it's going to be a very, very small saver on a horse called St. Lawrence. I despise the draw. It's gate 1. It is shocking. I really hate it. I think he's been prepped for this race, and he's a huge price. So I have to have a saver. If he was drawn high, he would be my number one selection in the race. There is a good chance that he doesn't get involved because of the draw. But even if he runs an okay race, put him in your tracker, maybe for next time, some other race later in the year, because I think he definitely has a race in him off this mark. Now, I did previously say we have to pick a horse in every race, Ross. We're going to move on to the Golden Gate Handicap, the 5:35. This is a minefield. I originally liked the King's Falcon in here. That horse got scratched this morning on Friday. Then I switched to Archivist, the reserve, who was going to get in for William Haggis. He's now been scratched. I have no selection. Do you?
I could lie here, couldn't I? So yeah, I was with those two as well, TC and have been scratched. I must be honest, I looked at it, gave myself a nosebleed and thought, TC will be all over this. He'll find the winner. So yeah, I think the first race this week where between us we don't have a selection. But we've tried really hard, or we always do, to be authentic. And if we're having a bit of a swing at one, we explain we're having a swing, and if we like one, we say we like one. So it would be foolish for you to try and find your third pick. I gave myself a headache and called it a day.
Yeah, it's a very tough race. Your favourite is Seraph Gabriel at around 4-1 for Rafe Beckett, who hasn't had a great week up until this point of the time we're recording. As I keep saying, on Friday, maybe he'll have a winner on Friday, and then his confidence will be higher going into Saturday's racing. There is a German raider in there as well called Best Secret. We don't like anything. If you do, go with your opinion there. We're going to move on to the final contest then of Royal Ascot 2025. Ross, I'm going to sit this one out again. I'm really afraid to say it. This race, to me, is the Queen Alexandra, by the way. This race doesn't appeal in any way. And every year when we cover Royal Ascot, I try to find a horse, as you say, in every race, like we do. This race, I actually don't try because I don't like it. It's over 2 mile, 5.5 furlongs. It is not my bag. Ireland has won the last 4 editions. Willie Mullins has won 2 of those. He's got the 10 to 11 favourite in here in Sober. I'm sitting this out. Are you?
Well, but before I get to my selection, did you see Sean and James Bowen yesterday at Royal Ascot? I thought they were great value. My selection, incidentally, is Sober. Willie Mullins in the bumper, isn't it? Really, final race of the day. I could see absolutely why you'd want to sit this out. It's pretty dire, isn't it? But then the more I looked, I didn't really want to go out with a odds-on short price favourite. But Wild Waves is just bang out of form. Samu's got to turn around quickly from the Copper Horse. That's a big enough ask. Dallas Star, I don't think will stay. Tashkan, the ground is going to be absolutely what he doesn't want. Ryan Moore, booked for Willie Mullins, booked at the 5-day stage. It's a Group 2 performer in France. The only question mark is he's got to prove performance on this quicker ground, but did win on good ground over a mile and 4 a few years back. So clearly not devoid of pace, and interestingly, he's never been taken out because of the ground. He's just run in France, and that's the ground you tend to get over there. So yeah, I quite like Sober to finish off the card.
Yeah, hopefully we can end on a high then with Ross selecting Sober, me leaving that race. If Sober wins, I don't think there'll be many Sober punters on the track, especially if they're playing the favourite in the lucky last. Multiples time then, as we've said all week, we put in together 2 horses each for a 4-way multiple to go with SBK's offer, 20% horse racing multiples boost this week at Royal Ascot. Ross, I'm going to add mine first. They are Trianmore in the Chesham and also More Thunder. Who are the 2 that you want to add?
I'll add Inisherin and Seagulls 11.
Perfect. I am told that is a 1,249 to 1 ACCA. We were very close to landing one on Thursday. I let the team down. You did very well picking 2 winners. I picked 1, and then we were all onto English Oak, and unfortunately that horse didn't win. But anyone who placed that accumulator, you'd have had a good run for your money there, and it looked good for a long way. Perfect then. That is a quick run through of Royal Ascot Saturday 2025. We've gone through Royal Ascot every single day this week. Hopefully you've enjoyed them, as I say. If you have enjoyed the podcast, please let us know in the comments. Make sure you like this video and also subscribe to SBK, because we do daily podcasts at other meetings, Cheltenham being one, Aintree being another. And if you like them, that helps the bosses let them know that we should continue doing these. A quick note on the offers again. 20% horse racing's multiple boost every single day this week at Royal Ascot. Minimum 4 legs to qualify. T's and C's apply. 20% winnings boost on an individual race every day. Saturday is the QE2 at 340. If you like something in that race, bet with SBK. And SBK has a new customer offer. Sign up, bet £10, get £40 in free bets. T's and C's apply. As I say, thank you very much for watching. It's been great fun this week. Hopefully you've had plenty of winners. Hopefully we have more winners on Saturday. We'll see you again for our regular podcast next Thursday. Goodbye.